So amazing. Everyone, please welcome to the show, Ty Smith.
What is the deal, folk viewers and folk lovers? I'm Ty Smith, Model Renaissance Man. Welcome to my channel, Model Renaissance Man. If you are someone who's been subscribed to my channel for a long time, double check to make sure that you are. But if you are fairly new to the channel, get an idea of what this channel is about. What do? Go to my channel, click on playlist. All these different things I do on this channel. See all these different thumbnails? Those are all different categories of things that I do on this channel. From comedy to cooking to DIY when it comes to fixing cars. There's a lot of things I do on this channel. So check the channel out in its entirety before you subscribe. I'm pretty sure you'll find something here that you like.
What's going on, folks? Welcome around my line, Ty Smith, Model Renaissance Man. Welcome to my channel. Double check to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you do what the instructions told you to do at the beginning.
All right, folks. So you guys all saw that, right? You saw it. Okay, no need to go through some more stuff. So you didn't see that introduction and you just getting in here. You can go rewind the video and get back into it. I know we are back again. You're like, dude, you are back. So what I want to do, I want to share this video with you guys, and we're going to go through together. I'm going to let it play through in its entirety, okay? I'm going to let it play through its entirety, and then we're going to go through it, okay? So give me a second, and I'm going to make the screen bigger so you guys can watch this video. So check this out. Hopefully y'all can hear it. I'm going to play it for a little bit, and you guys let me know if you can hear it.
The problem is we've forgotten how to be genuinely proud of our great countries, both America and United Kingdom, two of the greatest countries in the world. It's almost like...
Okay, let me pause it. First, let me know if you guys can hear that. Can you guys hear that? Is it echo? Let's see if I can get rid of the echo. Get rid of the echo. All right. Let's see if I can switch it over and we can get rid of the echo. Okay, check this out. You guys can still hear me right now, right? So I'm gonna let it play for a little bit more. Then we're gonna go through it. So give me a second again. I'm gonna try to play through this. Okay. Okay, you guys can hear that? What about right now? When I just played it, y'all couldn't hear it? Okay, let me see something here. We're gonna try something else. Okay, we gonna hear this together. We's gonna hear this together. Okay, give me a second to work out some kinks and binks here. Okay, let's see something. See if y'all, let's see. Okay, give me a second. Let me see if y'all can hear it now. Check this out. Can y'all hear it now? I'm getting ready to play it, so wait a minute. Here we go, right now.
The problem is we've forgotten how to be genuinely proud of our great countries, both America and United Kingdom, two of the greatest countries in the world.
Can you hear that?
It's almost like every day now, somebody somewhere, normally on the left, the woke left, is queuing up to find a reason to hate the countries.
Well, let's start it over then. Here we go.
The problem is we've forgotten.
Here we go. We're going to start it over. Here we go.
How to be genuinely proud of our great countries, both America and United Kingdom, two of the greatest countries in the world. It's almost like every day now, somebody somewhere, normally on the left, the woke left, is queuing up to find a reason to hate the countries and their histories.
Well, it's a kind of grievance competition. Your guest earlier just tried to engage in it. I don't know what hurt she believes she's had from slavery. All of this was addressed 2 centuries ago. Everything has consequences. All history has consequences and ramifications. But, you know, if we were to play this fairly, we would at least look at all of the countries around the world that engaged in the slave trade who are simply not interested in any form of reparations. The Ottoman Empire, all the Arab countries who not just traded far more slaves and across the Atlantic, but castrated all the men so that there wouldn't be any more African slaves after them. They worked them to the bone. I see no interest across Africa in paying reparations for selling their brother and sister Africans into slavery or for working them to the bone to the present day. There is slavery across Africa today. In fact, there are more slaves in the world today than there were at the height of the transatlantic slave trade. So some of us are simply a bit bored of hearing people ripping at closed wounds and then crying about their hurt or their presumed hurt. Because everybody could do this. 1 million Europeans were stolen by North Africans over the course of decades of the North African Barbary pirate slave trade. Where would you end if you did that? The answer is you couldn't end, because nobody is alive who has actually suffered the hurt, and nobody is alive who did the wrong. And I'd make one other point, if I may. It's always the countries that people want to come to who are put through this struggle session. Britain, like America and France, are the most desired destinations for migrants worldwide and have been for centuries. Why is that? It's not because we're racist, it's because we're better. It's because we're good. It's because when we see racism, we actually call it out and recognize it as a sin. Try finding that across Africa. Try finding that across the Middle East or in China. Nobody would hear. So what we have is a situation where the more virtuous countries are presented as the worst countries. It's sick, and most of us are tired of it.
Thank you, Douglas.
I am so sorry that Douglas is bored by the pain that has come
That's not what he said.
through slavery.
He didn't say. He didn't say that. See, but what you're doing there, yeah, but hang on, Paula. Paula, you're being very disingenuous. That's not what he said.
I am.
The viewers aren't stupid. They know exactly what he said. He's not saying he's bored by the pain. He's saying, and I think it's a perfectly valid point, the pain that people who are alive today are claiming they're suffering for what happened to us 300 years, it's not a real pain. They're not the ones who suffered what was going on 200-300 years ago.
So in terms of justice for all, I mean, I think we'd all agree that...
Well, I'm not suffering from when the Normans invaded this country.
Agree.
I'm not suffering from what my ancestors went through.
I noticed that I've not been allowed to respond.
Or from the Romans. In other words, where do you take this? I mean, should I now be feeling pain from what the Romans did to this country?
In terms of slavery, I can take it to 2015, when the slave owners were compensated by the government. So I can take it to that extent.
Where does your personal pain?
And I can say to you that I don't think that apologising is a bad thing. I think that apologising for a wrong is a good thing. I think that the Dutch royal family have done a fantastic thing.
Give me a second, folks. Okay, so you guys are saying that y'all are hearing an echo, right? Let me see what's going on with my stuff, y'all. Give me a second. My bad. I want to make sure that you guys are getting the quality sound that you're supposed to be getting here. Give me a second. There go my sure mic. Let me do some. But when you guys hear me, are you hearing me clear? You guys are hearing me clear, right? Because let me do some check and make sure my settings haven't changed in the audio. Nope. Got my sure mic sitting there talking. So, yeah. Okay. How about this? Okay. Let me see something here. Y'all, I told you I'm gonna make sure I get this right for you guys, okay? So I'm getting ready to play this, not through its entirety, but let me know how this sounds to you guys, okay? Let me know. Here we go. What about now? No sound? Can y'all hear the video though? Here we go. I got y'all. Let me see something.
That I don't think that apologising is a bad thing. I think that apologising for a wrong is a good thing. I think that the Dutch royal family have done a fantastic thing in acknowledging
still low.
What has gone wrong.
Okay, I hear you, but
was it still low?
Who has actually suffered the hurt, and nobody is alive who did the wrong.
Okay.
I'll make one other point,
Cool.
if I may. It's always the countries that people want to come to who are put through this struggle session.
All right, so what I'm gonna do, guys, because I don't want to bore y'all with the whole thing again. This is like a minute-long video. What I'm getting ready to do, we're getting ready to hear these points on here, and then I'm gonna give my take on it right now. So I appreciate y'all doing this. Let me make the screen bigger. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start out with this, not this dude, but yeah, this. Here we go.
Greatest countries in the world. It's almost like every day now, somebody somewhere, normally on the left, the woke left, is queuing up to find a reason to hate the countries and their histories.
So to that right there, he is making a really good valid point right there. They are literally raising our young children and our young Americans here to hate their country that they're in. They're getting them to believe that this country is such a messed up place, such a jacked up place. These young kids are already being born and getting to a stint to where they are going through school and being indoctrinated, where they're becoming nothing more than a bunch of little activists. They don't even know the history of the country. They don't know the truth about the country. But because these teachers are pretty much indoctrinating them with this false narrative, this false ideology, these kids are coming through middle school, going into high school, going into college with this perception that this country is terrible. And they haven't even got the truth of the country. They haven't even lived and been in corporate world or worked a job yet to see that a bunch of this stuff is nonsense. Continue on.
Well, it's a kind of grievance competition. Your guest earlier just tried to engage in it. I don't know what hurt she believes she's had from slavery. All of this was addressed 2 centuries ago. Everything has consequences. All history has consequences and ramifications. But, you know, if we were to play this fairly, we would at least look at all of the countries around the world that engaged in the slave trade who are simply not interested in any form of reparations. The Ottoman Empire, all the Arab countries who not just traded far more slaves than across the Atlantic, but castrated all the men so that there wouldn't be any more African slaves after them. They worked them to the bone. I see no interest across Africa in paying reparations.
Whoops. Whoops. Hold on. Hold on now. What's going on there? What's going on there? Any of these other places asking for reparations? Let's keep it real. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be nothing more. That is going to be nothing more than a talking point. It's going to be nothing more than a talking point to distract people, to focus on reparations, and for them to do nothing more than to get pissed off at it. That's it. This is going to be a means of discussion. There's going to have no end to it. There's going to be no conclusion to it. Because the thing is, when you learn the truth of it, that's the part that people don't want to get to. Because if you learn the truth about reparations, if you learn the truth about slavery, and you see that it was going on in all the world, and when you learn the truth, that the reason why the white man even got the slaves because other black people sold them, like that movie Woman King, the Dahomey tribe. They made money off of selling slaves, selling black folks, selling your own folks to the white man. So if you want to get to the point of thinking that you're going to get some sort of reparations, you got to go down the long history line. You see what happened in California. If you want to talk about reparations, then at the same time, if you're trying to say that black people deserve reparations, then you're going to have to find out where you came from, because like the analogy that I gave in my last video, you don't know if you were of the black people that were already born up north with other black families, that you weren't born into slavery. You were born free. Some of you might have come from a lineage of when you came over here, they were indentured servants. They worked off their payment or their debt as an indentured servant, and they got land and they tilled the land, took care of the land, and they had their own families on that land. How do you know you're not from those black families? If you are a family that was down in the South, you do know that black people owned slaves in the South as well. How do you know that you're not an ancestor descendant of those black people that actually owned slaves themselves? So who are you going to go and get those reparations from? This is what I'm saying. My brothers and sisters, all of y'all are my brothers and sisters, but I'm particularly talking about the black ones. They feel that y'all are so stupid and so ignorant. They know that they can bring up a subject that they know it will never have a conclusion. It will never have an answer. They have no means of actually doing it, but it gives y'all something to be pissed off about so they can actually use you Negroes like they always done to carry on their own personal agenda, to carry on their own political game. They still look at you as being ignorant animals based off of their actions. You really think, do you really think, I want you to logically think about this. Do you really think that they're about to drop some millions of dollars to black people? I'm gonna tell you as plain as I possibly can. This party, I don't care. Let's just say politicians. Y'all can pick the right or the left. I don't care who you pick. I don't care if you're picking Republican. I don't care if you're picking Democrat. Let's just say in politics, all of them would agree that the most disadvantaged people here in America, the most disadvantaged and disenfranchised are colored people, black people, African Americans. They'll do all the virtues. I'm talking about both sides. They do the whole, the black people are suffering, the communities are bad, the crime rate, they'll say all those things. But then we'll get involved in a country that has nothing to do with us. Ukraine and Russia, let them fight it out. What we doing there? Well, Ty, you got to understand I do not care. Do not go and get involved in the fight if you have not taken care of your own home. Do not try to go and help any other country if you have not helped your own country. They're showing you through their actions what they really feel about you. My family up in Chicago, and I told you, I got a place outside of Chicago. I'm never moving back in Chicago. But my point is, black people have cried so much about getting things from these politicians, and these politicians keep on promising them stuff. But I think what goes on, and there's like a mechanism in a lot of people's head, and I'm not trying to say this is all black people. I think that you have been accustomed to being done so wrong. You're used to being done wrong. You expect to be done wrong. So it's almost like it's this crazy Stockholm syndrome to where you keep on making up excuse to the one that's abusing you. What has changed about black people, the ones you vote in? See, the thing is, we got an issue. These people think, hey, all we gotta do is put a black person to look like one of them, even though that black person is still gonna carry out the agenda of what we want them to do. But because we got a black person that look like the other black people, they're gonna continue to vote that way, although the policies is clearly not helping black people. It's clearly not helping black people. Okay? So what am I saying that for? You really think they're gonna give you Negroes reparations? They sent billions of dollars to Ukraine. They're not thinking about you Negroes. They opened up the borders to allow one of the biggest $100 billion industry, child trafficking, human trafficking. They opened that up so they can allow it in. They care so much about you Negroes that they came and told you Negroes, especially up in Chicago. I'm talking from home. I'm talking about home. You Negroes been begging for money for a new church van to drive the people to and from the after school programs. You've been begging for better chairs, better facilities, to get the windows fixed, to get it repainted, get a basketball gym redone and all this because the floors are tearing up and splintered. You've been begging for this in all these after school programs in Chicago. These illegals come in. They tell you Negroes, y'all not coming to this school no more. They don't even give y'all a warning. They said, black people, it's a wrap. Y'all can't come to these after school programs nowhere because we have to house these illegals. And on top of that, we're going to ask for $50 million and we're going to ask the taxpayers to front this bill to house these illegals. All the while, black folks, what did y'all get? What did y'all get? Huh? You know what y'all did get? You got exactly what you asked for when you voted for the policy that we're a sanctuary city. Oh my God. So if they won't even give y'all a van for the after school program, if they won't even want to go in there and redo the floors, which is highly dangerous in the after school program buildings, if they don't even want to give y'all the money to redo the floor, to get y'all better chairs, better dining tables, better serving dishes to cook in, better stoves in these ran down after school program places, They won't give you that. But then these illegals come in who they don't even know their names, where they from, who they are, what the age. They don't know anything about them. They're going to tell you, Negroes, y'all got to go. We got to take care of these illegals. And we're going to ask for $50 million. We want the taxpayers to pay for it. What black folks are doing? What are y'all doing? Huh? So you really think that after they just did this in your face, you really think they're going to give y'all some reparations? No. It just gives you something to be pissed off about so they can say, the white man, and all y'all have no idea you're being played like crazy. And like I said, I don't know if it's because you just are used to it. I don't know if you're just used to it or what. You just used to being done wrong. Say to Chicago, we are a sanctuary city to allow immigrants to come in and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But again, there's a word called illegal. Let me tell you something, folks. When you work at these after-school programs, you really have to have a heart for it. Like I have a heart for people. I want people to do well, develop, do really good. My own resources come out. My own money comes out to help these young folks, right? To tell them the truth. I'm so glad when we have young men and young women that go off to college and they get their degrees in things that's going to lead them to a career. We have people, thank God, some of them went into the medical field like I did. They became doctors. They became nurses. They became nurse anestheticists. They became nurse practitioners. They became physician's assistants. Absolutely. Some of them went into the trade. They became carpenters. One of them owned his own. One of them became an accountant. He owns his own accountant, but he does our taxes for free. One of my little mentors, they're married. I love seeing that. What I love about this is they get to see the truth about this too. Screw all the so-called big words and the politics and, oh, dude, you don't know. Screw all that. We looking at the real life here. Based off of the actions, you can say what you want to. Say what you want to. Based off of their actions, they do not care. Because guess what? There are places around Chicago, they're high-end places. You don't want to, okay. High-end places, Naperville, Wambasi, places that got facilities that's way more high-end that can house these people. But what do they send them to? They send them into the very place where they feel like they belong with the rest of you disadvantaged Negroes. Put them in these after school, some of them literally are schools. They're schools that are schools no more. Put them in these after school places where it's already ran down, where black people are begging for stuff to get better service. Put them in there so y'all poor folks and a certain mindset so y'all all can stay together. They're not going to put them. Look, I told you, we got a place in Naperville. They're not going to put them in some of those facilities in Naperville. You crazy? They're not going to do that. Not at all. You think they're going to put them in Naperville and put them in Wambasi? It's not about me. I came out of the hood. I came from being poor. But this is high-end stuff. And I'm the type of person like, hey, y'all, hey, what about the such and such center? What about Tinley Park? They got a huge center there. What about Tinley Park? They have a church. And this church has another building that can house 200 people. And it's just a building so they can go there and do recreation stuff in Tinley Park. Why not put them in the best facilities with the greatest amenities and all that? Oh, no. Put them in the ran down after school program schools and all that stuff in the inner city area. We don't want them folks around them up. Come on, y'all. Come on now. Let's get back to this video a little bit. Let's get back to it, okay? Give me a second.
For selling their brother and sister Africans into slavery or for working them to the bone to the present day. There is slavery across Africa today. In fact, there are more slaves in the world today than there were at the height of the transatlantic slave trade.
Boom. So what are we talking about? Huh? So what are we talking about? More slaves today than there was during the transatlantic. Nobody cares about them though, right? Who cares about them? This is what they do not want you to know. If slavery itself, let's just talk about slavery itself. Now, see, here's the thing. I know that a lot of you folks, a lot of people are geared towards, when you think about slavery, you instantly think about white man bad, black man getting beat, black women being sexually assaulted. All that. That's it. When you think about slavery, all you think about is, and what you were taught to think about, black people being slaves. They scratch out the Irish slavery. They scratch out Slavs. They scratch out that India, China had some of the biggest slave trade going on, period. Scratch all that out. All we want y'all to focus on, white people did bad things to black people here in America. Portugal got more Negroes than anybody. Portugal got like 40-some% of black folks. I don't see no Black Lives Matter going on. I don't see people in Brazil protesting, screaming about reparations. They got almost half of all you Negroes. America got like what, about 1%? 2% collectively? But all we care about is what happened. Oh, the biggest sin America did. No, bullcrap. If every country participated in slavery of black people, of Slavs, of white people, European, Indians, and I'm not talking about Native American, I'm not talking about the indigenous people to America. I'm talking about people from India, and people from China. All these people were participating in selling slaves off and everything like that. Y'all act like this is unique to America. See, that's what it does, black folks. If you break it down to you like this and I give it to you like that, you get to see you're not special. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'll say that again. When you find out the truth that slavery was being, even when black people got brought over to the transatlantic slave trade, when you find out that black people, you weren't the only ones that was being traded as slaves. You weren't the only ones being sold off into slavery. All races were being sold off into slavery. When you find that out, guess what? You're not that unique, are you, black folks? I know, because in your world, your westernized world, this little box that they want you to stay in, you thought that only black people were slaves, didn't you? But keep it real. A lot of black people I know, they thought that a lot of black people, family members and all, I woke them up to this stuff. I got family and great aunts and great uncles, all their lives, they thought that black people were the only people that was ever enslaved. When I showed them the truth, when I showed them the history of it, it blows their mind. Now they get to see you nothing special. What makes you special? Man, our ancestors, well, a lot of white people had ancestors that were enslaved too. Y'all getting mad at the white people here in America, talking about white privilege. And what about you? How do you know those white people didn't descend from Irish people that were enslaved too? How do you know that? You don't know. You don't know that, do you? Let me go back to this video.
So some of us are simply a bit bored of hearing people ripping at closed wounds and then crying about their hurt or their presumed hurt, because everybody could do this. 1 million Europeans were stolen by North Africans.
Preach.
Over the course of decades of the North African Barbary pirate slave trade. Where would you end if you did that? The answer is you couldn't end, because nobody is alive who has actually suffered the hurt, and nobody is alive who did the wrong. And I'd make one other point, if I may. It's always the countries that people want to come to who are put through this struggle session.
Yep, I'm pausing it. Be mad. I don't care. Why are you here? If America, Britain, if they're so bad, if they're such a racist country, if it's so terrible here, why are you here? Why are you staying in America? I told y'all, as proof that this is nothing more than a talking point to get you pissed off and this virtue signaling by black people. If America is so bad, black people, leave. If America is so bad for you virtue signaling liberals, white people, if America is so bad and y'all really believe that y'all have white privilege and all that stuff like that, and America is really racist white people, leave. Y'all don't believe what y'all saying. Black people, y'all don't believe what y'all saying, because if you did, you wouldn't be here. But America is so racist. Y'all don't have a fighting chance. There definitely are not black doctors, black lawyers, black CEOs, black entrepreneurs, black millionaires, black billionaires, successful black people. Obviously, black people like that don't exist in America at all. Stop the cap. You really do not believe what you're saying. Oh, y'all can, man, I'm telling, I've been on panels where they did this to us. Man, we were kangs, we were quangs, man. We had this, man. We got to do this. You don't believe what you saying? Man, America's so racist, we can't even get nowhere because I know because of my skin color, I won't be able to, bro. You can literally go to another country where they will legitimately do that, right? There are countries that discriminate. Go to China. Negroes, black people, you want to experience some real racism? Go to China. I dare any of y'all go to China. Well, Ty, they have the Olympics. That's why they stay in the basket and they stay in surrounding hotel. Black people, go to China and see what type of racism you're going to experience some real racism in China. I dare you go there. You don't believe what you're saying. That's crazy. Let me tell you what. Guess what I did not like? I did not like the projects. I did not like the hood. I didn't like the ghetto. I didn't like being in a house infested with roaches. I didn't like being in a house where we named the mice. I did not like living in a house where every now and then, quite often you hear gunshots and you get to sit there and hear things rattle through your house. I did not like staying in a place to where numerous of times somebody tried to break in the house while we were in there. I didn't like staying in a place where crackheads would just be strung out right there in front of your face. I did not like staying in a place where I always saw a man beating the living daylights out of a woman. I did not like staying in a place where randomly you can be walking to school and you see somebody in the alley giving oral to a drug dealer, a crackhead giving oral to a drug. I didn't like staying in a place to where you constantly seeing people drunk. I didn't like staying in a place like that. Guess what I did? Guess what I did? I got out. I got away from it. And I have no desires to go back to it. And I do not care if the ones that live there who I grew up around, I do not care if they think that I'm some uppity Porch Negro, some uppity. I don't care what they think of me because guess what I'm not going back to? I am not going back to that environment. I got out of it. Want to know why? I didn't like it. So I challenge any of you that's listening to me right now. If you don't like the environment that you in, if you don't like this country that you in, if this country is so bad, go to a place where you're going to be more accepted. Leave. Do all of us a favor. Matter of fact, I guarantee you or your money back. I guarantee you or your money back. We would have the biggest GoFundMe exodus of people leaving America. I guarantee we will. Boy, I'm telling you, you really will be able to see who really don't like you Negroes for real. I guarantee you, boy, George Soros and Bill Gates, those people would, none of us would even have to donate to, if black folks came together and said, we don't want to stay here no more. We want to go to the motherland. I guarantee y'all wouldn't even have to beg for the money to go back to Africa. They will gladly send your black butt back. They will gladly send your black butt back. You won't even need to ask for donations. They would provide y'all with all the amenities. Y'all won't even have to pay for it. So that's what I'm saying. Stop the cap. NAACP. Black Lives Matter. America is so terrible. Why aren't y'all putting planes and stuff together to send people back to where they more go back to the country where other people look just like you so you can feel more accepted? You're not going to do that. So stop the cap. Stop the cap. You're not going to do that. That's what be real. If I don't like something, I'm moving on. I'm not staying there. I'm not staying there. You have been conditioned to dislike something that you've never even experienced. How are you going to hate a country? How are you going to hate a world that you never even experienced yet? You're still in dang on grade school. You're still in middle school. You're still in high school. And some of y'all, they know they can play off of how feeble your intellect is. So they'll sit there and let y'all get into it. Your virtue signaling. And like I told y'all the other day, the minute I sat there and asked all of those white people at that school board meeting, They are we have to help the black people. We should be able to dig. We should dig into our own pockets. This is our way of giving back. We have to get out. And I asked them, would you like to go to this after school program where you can go there and da-da-da? Not one of them said yes. They were all like, oh, well, no, no, bull crap. Virtue signaling out of this world. That's all this is. It's just a big, huge virtue signaling that's not going to go nowhere. If you keep on talking about it, thinking you're going to get reparations, well, keep on waiting. Keep on waiting. Like, what's that song? In Vogue sing? No, you're never going to get it. Never gonna get it. No, you're never gonna get it. Matter of fact, no, my channel gonna get monetized. I mean, it's gonna get taken. Y'all know that song by In Vogue. Never gonna get it, 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 never gonna get it. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna make me a short. I'm gonna make me a short with that plan in there when it comes to reparations. So let me get back and play this video right here, y'all.
Britain, like America and France, are the most desired destinations for migrants worldwide and have been for centuries. Why is that? It's not because we're racist, it's because we're better. It's because we're good. It's because when we see racism, we actually call it out and recognize it as a sin. Try finding that across Africa. Try finding that across the Middle East or in China. Nobody would hear. So what we have is a situation where the more virtuous countries are presented as the worst countries. It's sick, and most of us are tired of it.
Thank you, Douglas.
Now, watch real close what she tries to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, watch really close what she tries to do. She is about to pull an Ivan. Let me read this super chat. Mark, appreciate the super chat, says $10 for the truth from Utah. God bless you. Really, really, really appreciate that, Mark. Mr. Ivan Campbell, this lady is getting ready to do what you, sir, have been programmed to do. Watch the victim mentality come out. Watch. This dude just spit facts at this woman. And the first thing she's going to do is try to be a victim. Here it is. Brainwash 101, victim mentality of black folks.
I am so sorry that Douglas is bored by the pain that has come from
That's not what he said.
Through slavery.
He didn't say he's
See, look at that. Try to be a victim. Try to point the finger. And this is what people do that's really good. They try to divert from the facts at hand, and then they try to make the other person to be an enemy. That's what she did. And I'm so glad that Piers Morgan called her bullcrap on this right here, because the dude was not saying that at all.
Pain that has come from
That's not what he said.
Through slavery.
Nope.
He didn't say he didn't say
tired.
see, but what you're doing there, yeah, but hang on, Paula. Paula, you're being very disingenuous. That's
Yes, she is.
not
I
what
don't
he
think
said.
I am,
The
and I
viewers
think
aren't
if you
stupid.
read
They
his
know.
article-
They know.
And look what Pierce said. The viewers aren't stupid. We know exactly what that man said.
The viewers aren't stupid. They know exactly what he said. He's not saying he's bored by the pain.
Nope.
He's saying, and I think it's a perfectly valid point, the pain that people who are alive today are claiming they're suffering for what happened 200 or 300 years, it's not a real pain. They're not the ones who suffered what was going on 200 or 300 years ago.
So in terms of justice for all, I mean, I think we'd all agree that there
Well,
should
I'm
be
not
justice.
suffering from when the Normans invaded this
Uh-oh.
country.
agree.
I'm not suffering.
Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I will be honest. I would have liked to have heard her talk, and Pierce is cutting her off. But don't get me wrong. For anybody that might try to say, well, look at him. He being racist. He don't know. Pierce does this to everybody. So, I mean, honestly, I would rather have heard the woman talk a little bit more, and Pierce is cutting her off because I know he's trying to get his point across. I wish that she would have been a little bit more stronger about trying to get her point across, but she's been very ladylike and everything, which I give her kudos for that. But I do wish Pierce would have let her get it out.
Agree.
I'm not suffering from what my ancestors went through.
Facts.
I noticed
Or
that
from
I'm
the-
not being allowed to respond.
Hang
I
on, or
noticed
from the
if
Romans.
there's-
In other words, where do you take this? I mean, should I now be
Well, I can
feeling
take it
pain
to
from what the Romans did
2015.
to this
In
country?
terms of slavery, I can take it to 2015 when the slave owners were compensated by the government. So I can take it to that.
But where does your personal
I,
pain
and
come?
I can say to you, that I don't think that apologising is a bad thing. I think that apologising for a wrong is a good thing.
Okay, so this is what gets a lot of people when I go and speak on this. This is what get a lot of people pissed off. I tell them, since we know that supposedly 70% of homes regarding black people don't have a father in it, because most fathers abandon their moral and financial responsibility to be a father. They abandon it. They leave the single mother, and the government encourages them to do that, but that's another ballgame. I'm going to digress from that. What sense does it make for Ty Smith, the kids that I mentor, what sense does it make for Ty Smith to apologize to all the little black bastards? I'm just being real. What sense does it make for Ty Smith to apologize to all the little black bastards for something that their fathers did to them? Like, I'm not saying like, oh man, I'm sorry that that's happening to you, but I'm not going to apologize and be filled with guilt because I represent what did them wrong. I'm a black man. Their father's a black man. I'm married. They're not. Their mother is not married. I raised my sons. I have a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old. College. One got to get in his own place. One is college bound. What do I look like taking on the guilt of all the black bastards around America and feel bad and act like it's my fault because black men abandoned them? Therefore, because I, being a black man, I fall into the same category. Therefore, I should get down and apologize and pander to these black kids. Are you crazy? That's not my fault. Your daddy did that, not Ty. Your daddy did that, not mine. Those white people back in that time did that, not the white people today. Those black people back at that time suffered the slavery, not you Negroes today. That's what I'm saying. And people get ticked off at me, man. You really shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. Dude, yes, I should. Y'all just have a hard time taking this verbal discipline spanking. You get more pissed off at the way I'm coming at you and what I'm saying versus actually the words that I'm saying. I wish I would have some, what you want to call it? I wish I would have deadbeat dad guilt. But you crazy? Every black man, if you are a black man, all of y'all should have deadbeat daddy guilt. That's what you all should have. Since 70% of black men abandon their responsibility as fathers, all black men should have deadbeat dad guilt. In fact, it should be in our DNA. We're born with it. So therefore, if I was to leave my wife and leave my sons and all that, nobody should have nothing to say to me because it's been in my DNA. You crazy. No apology is going to do anything. What am I going to apologize for? What am I going to apologize for? I didn't do nothing. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Well, you should. Because you're a black man and you're successful and you got a wife and you got kids and you raise your sons, you should feel guilty. Because not all black boys get the same privilege that you, dude, you done lost your mind. That's, go find your daddy. So for all y'all that's claiming y'all want reparations, go dig up the graves of all, go find George Washington and whoever else has slaves. Go find them and dig up their bones and see if you can auction off their bones and get money for it. It's so amazing to me because this is the thing, and I'm going to end up, y'all, I'm going to finish out this video. I'm going to finish it out here in a little bit. It's like an altar call, but you know, altar calls take like 10 minutes. No, but here's the deal. Let me check this out. Why is it that post-slavery, all the way up to the 1950s, black folks were doing better? Why? Why? Y'all hear me? Why is it that post-slavery, the late 1800s into the 1950s, why were black people increasing hundredfolds and becoming physicians, nurses, teachers, owning their own businesses? Why is it that black folks were married just as more as white people? Why is it that during that time that white people started having came out with a magazine that said the colored people are the new middle class of America before where we are right now? Why is it that black people were winning? Why is it that we were doing so good post-slavery? But you want me to believe that in 2023, we are just terrible and we still need to be, oh, we shall overcome. We still trying to see if we can. What? Come on now. Stop. If they keep you mad, if they keep you pissed off, if they keep you in fear, they can control you. They can control you. They can control you.
I think that the Dutch royal family have done a fantastic thing in acknowledging what has gone
okay,
wrong.
I hear you, but I honestly
society.
think it'll make no difference at all.
Nope. Facts. Facts. Oh my God. Let me say this because I know a lot of black folks don't watch this. Why are y'all seeking for y'all look, these people play the same psychological games they do on black people. They play the same psychological games they do on LGBTQ. Black people, why are y'all wanting to get the approval of white people? Huh? Why do y'all need a white person to say good job? Why do y'all need a white person why do y'all need that? Why do y'all need a white person to validate y'all black people? And now just think, I'm just telling when I say they play the same games, LGBTQ, all the people that are homosexual, transsex, I don't care what you are. Why are y'all seeking validation? What is that? Why? Why are y'all wanting and needing validation from everybody else to acknowledge that y'all just exist? Nobody cares. Black people. Why are y'all needing white people to validate y'all? Why? What do you need an apology for? Nobody did a goddamn on thing to you at all. Well, dude, get real. Let me tell you something, and I'm making this clear. No apology to you Negroes living today is going to change your current condition that you so hate right now. None of it. Every white person in America, from billionaires down to the blue collars, down to the trailer parks, down to the backwood rednecks, if all the white people made a video of all of them apologizing for happening to Negroes in slavery, guess what's going to happen, black people? Nothing. You're still going to be in the predicament that you in. You still going to have a 90% chance of being killed by somebody that look just like you. You still going to be sitting there voting for the same people that's keeping y'all in the predicament that you're in right now. You're still going to be sitting there being baby mama. You're still going to be sitting there being deadbeat dads who don't want to be. You're still going to be. Nothing is going to change if every white person in America apologized for what happened to black people. Nothing is going to change about your situation. Want to know why? No one is coming to save you. And rightfully so. Nobody needs to come and save you. You want to know why? Negroes, you're free. Go and do what you want to do. Go and chase the lifestyle that you want to have. Go and get the degree that you want to get. Go and get the job that you want to get. Go and do it. What's stopping you? Man, these white people, dude, stop the cap. Doctors, lawyers, CEOs, bankers, entrepreneurs, nurses. We are there, folks. Black people, we are there. We've been there. But somebody is tricking y'all into staying where you at. Go. That's it. Go. Use freeze. Ivan, you're free. Negro, go. Anyway, y'all. Appreciate y'all all being in here. Let me know what y'all think of the video by leaving in the comments after this video, if you don't mind. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate you guys with the comments and everything. Appreciate y'all for rocking it out with me and supporting the channel. Don't forget, you can support the channel through you can support the channel. Slow down, Ty. You can support the channel through Cash App right there. If you donate, great. If you don't, great. The thumbs up is what I appreciate. Get it, mate? Ha, just rhymed it. No, anyway, folks, y'all know how it is. Appreciate you guys all being in here. And we're going to keep this thing going, all right? With that being said, folks, I'm about to get out of here. I'm Ty Smith, model Renaissance man, hoping and praying that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I pray. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, y'all know what it is. Something glitched. Most of all, I pray that every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.